just do what you like. Because for me, I was pushed into doing law, and I didn't really like that, and I finally ended up wasting 2 years doing something I didn't really like.
Yeah.
Hassan Ali is a young upcoming animator, illustrator, and design thinker with a passion for comic books and character storytelling. Hassan eventually dropped out of law school and switched to animation studies to pursue his life dream of building a career in the creative arts. Hassan's mantra is to do what you love and the best of life will follow. This is his prototype.
What's good, bro? How's it going?
Not bad. Yourself?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
You're a lot taller. Well, you've always been taller than me, but now you must be like 6'3", 6'2".
6'2".
6'2".
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's not that big nowadays. It's just 6'2".
I just stopped growing that way, but it's fine. I've accepted it.
Stop eating ugali.
Well, before we get into all of that, okay. Clearly we're buddies. We've known each other for some time.
Yeah.
But for the benefit of everybody else out there, do you just want to introduce yourself?
My name is Hassan Ali. I am an animation student, currently finishing my undergrad in ADMI, Africa Digital Media Institute, and I am an animator.
When we knew each other in school...
Yeah, you were way ahead of me.
I mean, I was ahead of you as far as class was.
Class.
And I was kind of like outgoing in as far as
You're the
doing
cool
what
kid.
I
You were
wanted
one of
to
the
do.
cool kids.
I was one of the cool kids. We had a very cool principal, so it kind of helped.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
But I mean, at that point in time, when we knew each other, we didn't speak too often, but we would see each other on school.
Yeah.
But back then, did you know that this was the direction you'd be taking? That you were going to move in the visual arts, animator, illustrator role, the creative side of things? Did you know that this was where you were going?
Not really. I had no clue. When I saw you the first time, you were in like year 13. Year 13. I was like in year 9.
Yeah.
So when you left, when I finally started going to like year 13, year 12, and I finished, I had no clue. I just knew that I like to scribble sometimes. I like to draw. Like I was the guy that always vandalized on the desks, the lockers, everywhere. Until when I finished and graduated, I found out that like, what am I gonna do? I can't just do law. I hate law. I can't do literature. I can't at all.
Yeah.
And then one time, principal, she was like, since you like drawing, why don't you just pursue graphic design or animation? I was like, what's animation? Because I used to really love drawing comics. Like comics was my favorite. It's called sequential art, if you didn't know.
Sequential art.
And
that is
comic books. It's a fancy word.
Okay.
So then after I found out that I could do animation, I looked all over within Kenya. At that time, there weren't that many schools until I found about ADMI. And then there I pursued my dream. I tried to draw as much as I could, and yeah.
That's awesome. And I mean, just to find out more about your background, is how many siblings do you have, or are you an only child? What is the upbringing like?
The upbringing was a bit tough since my dad used to be in the army, so then he didn't really like a lot about like pursuing the creative sides of everything. But then in terms of like how many we're just 3.
Yeah.
A Somali family, that's 3.
3.
Yeah.
Of you being the oldest, or you in being?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. Okay.
Unfortunately.
So like leading by example. No, I mean it depends. On how you look at it,
that depends if you have big shoes to fill, but I do.
So you have expectations from your parents and your younger siblings?
Both. Yeah.
And are your siblings at the age now where they sort of know what they want, or they're getting an idea of what they want to do?
My brother is acting like he knows what he wants to do, and acts like he knows. He's reached an age where he's like wondering, what do I do? The world is like big. I can be a pilot, I can be this, and then the pressure from my dad telling him, you can do piloting, you can do this.
Yeah.
I would tell him honestly, just do what you like, because for me, I was pushed into doing law when you were gone, year 12 and 13.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like that, and I finally ended up wasting 2 years doing something I didn't really like.
Yeah.
But then later I found out that I liked doing this ever since a young age, ever since his age. So then that really pushed me to do what I really want to do.
What was that conversation like with you and your dad when you finally told him, look, I'm not really. I have no interest in law.
Yeah. I don't want to go to the army.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to go to the army. So what was that conversation like?
It was a long conversation, especially due to the fact that we traveled a lot of different countries. We didn't only look in Kenya. We also went to like Malaysia, Mauritius to look for. We found universities, but then the expenses weren't as much as we thought. Because then the last day, my dad was like, Hassan, you can enter these schools, but just don't think about yourself too much. Think about your brother and your sister, because then if you're gonna waste all this, what about your brother? What are they gonna do? And I was like, okay, let me at least like go to ADMI. It's a new school. They have all the equipment. I've checked, and yeah, it's really helped.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys who go to ADMI, and I've heard good things about it. So I'm glad that you found a place that you can grow and grow into your own. So okay. In the current, you're in ADMI, so could you walk us through a day in the life as a student in ADMI?
First, it's in town.
Pause.
It's never, stop.
Town is just hectic for me.
It's a hustle and bus. You have to do this, you have to do that.
Yeah.
Especially during rush hour. But it's really good because they have all the equipment and they have like teachers who can at least like they have that one-on-one. Even though how big the classroom might be, they have that space for like, okay, come talk to me if you have any questions. If you have anything, message me. Here's my number, this, that. That teacher-student relationship you have is really, really good. And also, they also really push you creatively, and that's what I really liked about ADMI.
So you have the freedom to express yourself.
Yeah.
But they've also got like structures in place that nurture you, that mold you into a bit of rules. So it is good. What about now, let's say the freelance side of things? Your side hustles. Do you have any side hustles that you've started working on because of the knowledge that you're getting from ADMI or the experience that you're getting?
Definitely, I've learned a lot of skills. I've learned a lot from creating my own comic book to...
Wait for a second. You created a comic book?
Yeah, that was during semester 2.
What's the name of this comic book?
It's The Girl Next Door.
The Girl Next Door?
Yeah.
Do you have to, how many copies are there of this, or did you keep it?
No, it was just, okay, unfortunately it wasn't marked yet because the teacher traveled to abroad, but I knew I'd have gotten that A. Yeah. I'm so A+ even. But then the comic is about this guy who, the first scene, he's in the elevator, waiting for the elevator, he's got his bag from his 9 to 5. He's like, I hate my job, I really hate my job. All of a sudden, the elevator opens. Then he's talking to himself. All of a sudden, when the door closes, like, wait, hold the elevator. He holds it. He holds the elevator. Some lady enters. He's really nervous. He's like, oh my God, who's this? He looks at her from head to toe. As in, you know those montages where you see the eyes, and then you look at the eyes, you see the lips, and all of a sudden the eyes look back at her, and then back at him, and then he's like nervous, like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden he notices that they're going to the same floor. He's like, oh God, wow, okay. She must be the new girl from room 360, whatever. I don't remember the name. But he reaches the door, you can see her from across the hall. And then they make this last glance at each other. Before she opens the door and enters, he looks at the door, he's like, nah man, I can't. Let me go say hi to her. He goes to the door, knocks, and then who opens the door is really surprising. It's some big, buff dude. Opens it like, what do you want? He's like, I came to say hello, I'm the new neighbor. He's like, okay, bye. He leaves. He's like, I'm never gonna see those guys again. He goes to his room. The next scene, you see a silhouette of her opening the door. She's like, hello, neighbor, your door was open. I just came to say hi. And then she notices like, he's not here. She goes to the room. Looks at the room is really dark. He turns on the lights. He finds out that he's hanged himself. He's killed himself.
Wow.
She cries. She screams even. The man at her apartment enters. He's like, what happened? Are you hurt? Are you okay? Yeah. Like, no, he killed himself. And then they hug each other like, oh no, it's okay. Everything's gonna be fine. Don't worry, sis.
Oh, no.
And that line really just emphasized. I'm not really good at script writing, but that line is supposed to emphasize that he thought it was gonna be the boyfriend. Kuma is the sister, and he's like, God damn it, I killed myself for no reason.
My goodness, that's a powerful. I mean, the underlying message in that comic is pretty powerful, and it kind of touches on mental health, which is I know a conversation that a lot of people are having.
A lot of youth are having, especially this generation with people on their phones all the time. They get anxiety.
I know mental health is something that has struck close to home for me.
Yeah.
Even there was a point I put out a song about it and all that. Is that something for you as well that you've had to overcome, or
I'm still experiencing? Yeah, I've had like moments where, out of the blue, like for me, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to also my work. The times where it reaches a point where I'm like, God damn it, I need to do better. You give yourself that kind of anxiety to the point where you're just like, God damn it, I can't even breathe. To the point where you know that feeling, your chest is contracting. You can't breathe. You're shaking a bit. And it reaches a point where I realize, like, why I'm even having this with my own family. Like, I'm at the dinner table and I'm literally having an attack for no reason. That's why I realized that social anxiety, like mental health, is also a really, really big thing, especially with people these days, and this generation also. Because back then you never heard anyone say like, yo man.
Not as much.
I'm from the farm, bro. I had this anxiety attack. Jesus Christ.
I think it was kind of cool back in the day to just toughen up. Like you toughen up as you grow older.
Because everyone had those sailor hands. People are like, they were like tough.
I know what you mean, bro. But wait, okay, since we did touch on mental health, and like I said, it's something which is close to me as well. You know, those days when it's just so tough, like you said, having to deal with sitting with your family at the dinner table. You're like, I wish I wasn't here. The other days you have to get up to go to attend class or something, you know, and you just don't want to, you want to sit at home with the curtains drawn all day or sleep. Those kind of days, how do you overcome those days? What are some of
the routines?
Yeah, the things that what are some of the
well,
like you said,
I wouldn't
routines?
say like I have like a proper remedy for it, but I would say that I have like steps. Like let's say, for example, like going out, for example. Like I've seen you in the scene a lot, So let's say going out, let's say you haven't gone out in like 2 months. You've been working, like, today I'm going out. I'm gonna Roomba, I'm gonna shake my booty a bit, have fun. So then before you go out, you get that anxiety, like, who am I gonna see? What am I gonna drink? Like that. So my steps for that, I only found a few steps that could cure that. For me, I start by working out a bit, like going for runs, like eating a few fruits and like, you know, some healthy things. When I step out, immediately I step out of the door, I say hello to the first person I see. I greet the first person, be it the M-Pesa guy, the guy for the Uber, the taxi, whoever, it doesn't matter. The first person I see, I say hello, I talk about whatever. And within that conversation, it doesn't have to be like, oh, what do you do? What's your, just like default questions. I ask questions like, what do you think about Brexit? Just a random question.
Something random to just
random, as in just don't, the key is just don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself whenever you're asking people questions. Don't judge yourself. Because the biggest critics for me, I believe, is not the other people. It's the conversations, not the conversation with yourself, with other people, it's only with yourself actually. That's what hurts.
I know I'm somebody who's I'm somebody who tends to be too hard on myself. Like that perfectionism syndrome, whatever you want to call it, is something that I know has applied to
disease.
Me. But now as far as the mental state of affairs, your mental health, how you feel, your feeling, how does that cross over into your work? And is there certain pieces of art you found yourself drawing, or is there certain ways that you express yourself visually when you're in one mood, and then in another mood it's like a different flavor comes out?
I know what you mean. Like one time I couldn't draw it all completely. I was like, what the hell? I couldn't grab a pencil and draw. So then one time, this was I think 2 to 3 months ago, I found a way to like put myself in that mood of like, stop judging yourself by one page. Because when you open like a new sketchbook or a new pad, you just look at the first page, you're like, man. So then I looked at the first page, I was like, okay, what can I do differently? So I decided to like not judge myself. I took a pen, a Sharpie, in fact, actually, it was a Sharpie, scribbled as much circles. I didn't even look at the page. I was just watching like some dumb things on Netflix and started scribbling. So whenever I finished like the first 30 minutes, I looked back on the page and I was like, oh, okay, that's me without caring, without being like judgmental to myself, free of thought. So I looked at that and started drawing the first thing I see on that blank thing. And then afterwards I realized like, why didn't I start drawing with pen? Because that helps you also not only with anxiety also, but also with perfectionism.
Okay.
Like I would be too much of a perfectionist when it comes to like drawing. Like let's say I finish a piece, I'm like, I could do something better. Part of me is like, okay, before I mess it up, let me take one picture before I mess it up. So that I found a way to like do it by drawing with pen fully. So I don't judge every line I have, every stroke, every line, nothing, no judgments. And that makes you better.
That makes you better.
Way
no,
better.
I can see that. I can understand that. So it's been like a sort of therapy for you. Art in some moments.
Yeah.
Like a release of therapy.
Just
Yeah. That's powerful. Because then I wanted to know then on the flip side of things, what have been some of the milestones, the best moments that you've experienced, or the better moments that you've experienced? Because I feel like the best is still yet to come. We're still so young, bro. You know what I mean?
way young.
But on the flip side, moments that like successes, and you were like, I'm on the right path. This is
the first success I ever had
is
was it's my moment. Was when I finally drew my first portrait. It was, believe it or not, it was 2017. I drew my first portrait, and it was I don't know if I should say this, it was my ex.
There's nothing wrong with that, at least.
But yeah, no, it was, I was really passionate the whole week. I was like, what can I do? I can at least like something. And I thought about, wait, she has a profile picture, yeah? Her birthday is coming up next week, yeah? So then I was like, let's go. Start drawing, start first sketch, and I was like, wait, this is actually turning out. But the worst part is that whenever you have like a milestone to, like you said, a milestone to overcome, there are always some challenges.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge was that profile picture it had, you know those Snapchat filters?
Yeah.
The flowers.
The flower crown, which is everywhere now.
What?
Yeah.
The thing was hard. Coloring that, But I overcame it, and then luckily she really liked it. Yeah, and after that I kept drawing more and more. And then one time I was like, you draw all these people, all these girls, but you can't draw me. And I'm like, Mom, please.
Well, shout out to your mom anyway. We're bringing it back now to the Kazi, to the work. You're like, your industry I would consider to be, it's relatively new because it's new, even
it's new to Kenya,
considering where we are, exactly. So I guess what are some of the challenges that you've faced being in such a new industry, and as far as packaging yourself and even
branding.
just like branding, and even the other day I saw you, because I stalked you on Instagram a little bit.
Are you stalking me? You stalking me?
Look, I had to find out what's going on. But I saw you asking for, you're like, who's gonna buy me? I think it's called a Wacom. It's a graphics tablet, right?
You even know the one, yeah. Wacom Cintiq. I even actually recently got it.
My question is then, from being in a non-traditional industry, particularly in Kenya, what are some of the challenges you faced, and what other hurdles do you expect to overcome as you guys kind of just like, as visual artists come out as like, we're here, ready to also contribute?
Yeah, we're also like something besides the West, besides Superman, Batman. Like I really want
Marvel stuff.
Yeah, we don't have to like focus on, I want somewhere where, I want to be at a place where like we are noticed, Kenya is noticed for, other than just marathon runners, rugby people, we're just noticed for also our creative side, like our creative artistic side. Like I want to reach a place where we have our own studio, where we can produce enough sequential art, if you will, enough comics that we don't have to rely on the West to like produce. Like Shujaz, like I've grown up reading. Do you know Shujaz?
Yeah, yes.
Like, you know, the characters Charlie, Pele, Maria Kim. Like I grew up reading all of that, and it was really inspiring. It really got me to the point where I'm like, yeah, I want to tell like African stories, African everything, and not rely on the West. And also really helps because you know what Shujaz means in Shang?
Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really inspiring because, you know, they're also not only as in like, it doesn't only cater to the other like normal kids, it also caters to like kids who are like going through a hard time, kids who are not having like the best circumstances in life. And it also really inspires them to like do better within their stories, script writing, character design, illustration, everything. And it's really inspiring.
That's proper. I used to read Super Strikers a lot.
Oh, dude, Shakes.
I enjoyed that. Shakes, McKenna, Cool Joe,
what?
Super Strikers killed it.
Dude.
Okay, so I want to know, once you graduate uni, what next?
I want to find myself in a studio where I can literally just be given the freedom. Not just freedom as in like, you do whatever you want. Freedom as in like, they still give me deadlines and push me creatively, but it's my characters, my story, my storyboards, my shot angles, I just want to be able to create. That's it.
What if that studio doesn't exist? If that space,
then
once you graduate,
I'll work towards that. I'll literally just start from the bottom, ordering tea for people, and then later, reach there.
You got 2 years or so left of uni, yeah? Maybe 2 years or so?
I'm graduating next year, July.
Next year, July?
Yeah.
All right, so you have your degree in hand, and you set out, you're either going to join an existing company or you're going to start your own, freelance agency or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the right term is. But I guess I want to know what impact would you want to have really after going through the journey that you almost pursued law, you almost were
literature
literature, you were almost sent to the army, but then you finally found a community, a school that you could grow and nurture your gifts, and now post having that education, what impact do you want to have either on your family or your community or what?
I wanna reach a point where I can at least, like for example, I have my diploma right there. What I want to do is that I even had this argument with my dad yesterday. He's like, nah, I want you to continue your studies. You know how old mentality for like African parents, they're like, I want you to continue, degree, master, everything, done. But I told him like, I want to at least like get into work experience. Don't just enter the market when I just have a degree and no work experience. I want to reach there when I have worked for a couple of years while also studying and also like perfecting my skills. But also I want to reach a point where I can affect not only Kenya, but East Africa within like sequential art, within comics. I want to change it within animation because Kenya is not known for animation or 2D. Like for me, I have an idea, just one idea that's been at the back of my head for an animation. It's a 2D skit, not a skit, like a show, 30 minutes, an hour. It's about the life and times of a street child. Like you always pass by these kids, you always see them holding the bottles on the teeth. You don't know what their life is afterwards. At night, during the day, when they're trying to look for food, when they're sleeping, you don't know where they sleep, you don't know what happens. So my story is about this child, whatever name he may have. He goes through town, going through the hustle and bustle, trying to find food. He has a posse, his own crew, that they also try and hustle and trick people into getting them food. And I really want to make the story really unique because I want to make it like all about Kenyan lights. Because you don't ever see Kenya about like the lights, the nightlife. You never see anything because I want to give it like that ambience, about like that twinkly light kind of feel, that sunset kind of feel, that lofi feel, if you will. Because I want to give it that nice, there's no words for it.
There are no words for it.
Yeah.
No, but we look forward to seeing that. I'll be following. It's just
stalking.
Kind of, I'll be stalking, like the same way I jumped on your Instagram page. Some of the characters that you've created are just insane, just insane. So I'll definitely be following that.
Thanks.
What, if any, advice would your older self give to your younger self?
To my younger self, practice. Because people usually think whenever they see my sketchbook, because I'm like, oh my God, this is so easy. You must have done this so easily. I was like, bro, you don't know how many weekends, Saturday nights where you're going out drinking. I'm in my room, just in a cocoon, just practicing from anatomy, poses. I'm the worst at landscape. That's what I would tell myself. Just practice landscape. But what I tell myself, practice. In a day, finish at least a sketchbook or two to get better, because I would be way better. I had goals for myself when I started at 15. I had told myself, Hassan, by the time you reach 22, right now I'm 22, you better know how to I was gonna curse. You better know how to paint a mountain. I can't paint. I can only sketch and use markers and you paint digitally, but not like Bob Ross. I can't do any of that. And
that's something that you're working on now?
Yes,
or is it just like you're staying in your lane also?
No. I have to try at least like push myself a bit, like try and draw at least, like just try a beach scene. It's easy, just try. Try it. The next day, try at least something harder. It's like a muscle. You know when you go, okay, I don't work out. You know when you work out and go to the gym and you don't go for like 2 months? It's like, it gets like, your gains. Your gains are gone.
Yeah.
So then, it's the same with drawing. Your artistic gains are gone. You won't remember how to draw. Like, how do you draw a hand? You're just like, what the hell? A leaf? You just end up drawing stick figures. So that's practice, why, practice.
And are there any inspirations or people that you kind of...
oh, there are many.
Yeah, people that...
yeah. For me, recently I found this when I had many when I was 15 that I still follow till today. But for me, recently I found this guy called Bank Slave. Have you seen that picture for that graffiti picture on the wall for Nipsey Hussle?
Nipsey Hussle, All Money In, yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, he killed it. Bank Slave has been on the scene for decade plus.
I can't believe I just found out recently.
Yeah, he's insane.
Damn.
And yeah, all shout out and respect to him.
All shout out and respect. But for me, recently, what got me into drawing comics was, I don't know if you know this guy called Jim Lee. Okay, let's just start. Jim Lee, Humberto Ramos, J. Scott Campbell, and Stan Lee, R.I.P. Because for me, first of all, Jim Lee is now the co-editor or publisher for DC Comics. Imagine, you're now from drawing at 19, creating your own. He started doing what he started when he was young. He's a Korean immigrant, went to America when he was really young, didn't speak English. He only learned English from comic books. He would read comic books and then learn English that way. And then after that, he started drawing, but then his dad, this is what I really love the story, his dad didn't want him to do that. He wanted to do psychology. He did psychology, went to university, got his master's at, I don't know if it was Yale or something, some big school. He did it, got his master's. His dad was like, yeah, now go do what you want. He's like, Dad, what I want to do is art. He's like, nah. He's like, okay, Dad, give me 1 year. And he hasn't been drugged since he was young. Give me 1 year. If I don't get a job, I'll continue doing psychology. 1 whole year, he sleeps, he wakes up, he draws. Sleeps, wakes up, draws. He went to each of these comic book conventions, San Diego. So he went to each of those ones, kept giving his portfolio, kept getting like, nah, thank you so much, thank you for your portfolio. Keep working on it. People kept saying, yeah, keep working, you're really good, keep working. To the point where he got an offer from Marvel and then started doing Marvel work and then went to make his own company and then merged it with DC and then now he's making it big. No,
it just goes to show. It's like if you want it bad enough, then there's really nothing that you can't do. Yeah, if you want it bad enough. Here's a fun question for you since we've spoken about all the serious stuff. If you're a cat, and obviously then you have 9 lives, we all know how the artist lifestyle is. I'm not saying it's a blanket statement for everybody, but so if you were a cat, how many lives what life do you think you'd be on right now if you were a cat? Hey. Just thinking about the journey that you've been on so far. You don't have to give us the nitty gritty details.
10.
You'll be on your 10th life. Damn. Okay, that's interesting.
What about you?
I think I'll be on my 7th life. I know 7's my lucky number. Yeah, but I think
dangerous. What?
Yeah, I've lived on the edge.
You're an old soul.
Pretty much on the edge. Yeah. I haven't held back much, so I think I'll be on the 7th life.
But I want to be that Garfield where you just like hate Mondays and just like look at someone's glass and then just pour it.
Furthest you go is the front door.
Yeah, the bare minimum is the carpet.
I can't live like that.
Yeah.
I can't live like that. Okay, so I always ask people to, if you could summarize your life, yourself, in a few words, or if there's a quote you live by, what would it be? What would those words be that describe Hassan Ali, the illustrator?
The extrovert by sight, but the introvert by heart.
Extrovert by sight, but introvert. I love that.
Meaning, like, you can see me, you can say you know me. Like, people have assumptions of people. Always, whenever they meet them, like, when you go out, you can see someone like, I know that guy, I know that Jama. Yeah. He's like this, like that, like that, like that. But to really know someone is to really, like, have at least, like, these conversations we're having. That's how you truly know someone. Like, if you look someone properly in the eyes, you can even tell, like, what's really messing them, what's been the deepest secrets, if you will.
I get you, I understand.
But by that I mean like extrovert by sight, introvert by heart. No one really knows me until they know me.
Yeah. I appreciate it. And with that, thanks for taking the time to come here.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Because besides that, like I said, we only bump into each other when we're out for seconds. So and I really didn't know that you had so much talent as well doing this. As far because you're
not really talented.
Like you're talented.
It's not like piloting or engineering.
No, you're a great dancer. I'll say that. Okay, you're a great dancer, like above average. So thank you for also just like kind of like taking the time to come here and just tell us more about you and your
Thanks
story.
for having me.
Is there going to be any kind of viewing soon? Where can we either see your work? Firstly, I'm hoping there will be some sort of like exhibition of some sort.
Portfolio page.
That. And then also, where can other people find your work?
You can find my art on my Instagram, just _Hassan.ali, but the S is with 5s. You see the creative side now.
Yeah, it was a tough handle. And so I'm just going to keep on rooting for this exhibition to happen now that I see more and more galleries in town and stuff around.
Dude, I want to go for those galleries. I want to go for these what are they called? These wine and paints. Like, these ones where you go to someone's house, they're like 10 women, and then you're the only guy, and they're just painting, and they're not even painting, they're holding wine while the canvas is empty, and they just talk nonsense.
I'm telling you, this life is for you, bro.
Dude, I really want to do this. What? Like, I really just want to go there. But hopefully a gallery.
Perfect.
God willing.
Okay, cool.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Thanks so much for the time, bro. Until we meet again.
Until next time.
Yes, sir. Bless.